Hello and welcome to another Sprues and Brews live stream. How are we doing, chaps?
Evening all.
Good evening.
Hello. Has everyone had a good weekend?
Not bad, aside from the fact it marked the end of my week off.
The end of your week off? Oh, gutted. I mean, a week off is good. A week off is good. But, yeah, the end of a week off is a blow, isn't it?
It is a massive blow. But, you know, we're here doing a painting stream, so you can't be down on a painting stream.
We are, and we've got a bit of a themed painting stream today, haven't we, chaps? We managed to snag tickets to a Kill Team event. Let me get the name of it. Escape from the Gallowdark, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Later in June. Warhammer World. So it's a bit of a narrative event, and you know we love us a bit of narrative. And thought it'd be really cool if you all went, all took different kill teams, and yeah, build up the lore for them and get some display bases and stuff done. I see Steve Harbour in the chat. How you doing, Steve? Are you having a good weekend? What are you working on? So we thought on today's stream, because we've got a couple of months to get them done, but I think we want to get some practice games in, and there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out in that space of time. So I think it's worth us getting some paint on some of these miniatures, isn't it?
Yeah, get a head start.
Yeah.
So I am bringing the full force of the police. The Adeptus RBTs will be coming to
sound of the police.
Exactly. So the RBTs will be coming to Warhammer World. They will be breaking knees and other really fair forms of policing to anyone who is silly enough to get in their way on board the Gallowdark. Jay, what are you taking?
So I'm taking. So it's a Blood Angels kill team. Although I'm going to be using the rules for the Chaos Legionnaires.
That sounds awfully heretical, Jay.
No, I promise you, it's not going to be heretical. So the Chaos Legionnaires kill team is really, really interesting. It's got a lot of really, really cool specialists. And if you ignore all of the sort of chaosy stuff, it does feel like a Space Marine elite kill team. You know, you've got heavy gunners, melee specialists, psyker, and I think with a bit of creative license, I can use those rules to represent a Blood Angels kill team.
That's really cool.
So I'm converting up some Blood Angels sort of equivalent models. So there's like a butcher, which is a big Chaos Space Marine with a two-handed axe. So I've converted a Primaris Assault Intercessor with some Blood Angels and Sanguinary Guard bits to be wielding a big two-handed Carmine axe.
That's cool.
And that kind of thing. So
yeah, that's really cool. You've done some really cool conversions as well. Steve Harbour spent today building models 201 to 204 in my War of the Roses project. Nice. That's cool. And Anonymous Rex says, evening. How are we doing, Anonymous Rex? Have we had a good weekend? Rex. What are you working on? Cool. No, that sounds really cool, Jay. So the idea is basically have all of these different options represented as Blood Angels.
That's right, yeah. Using like a Primaris Intercessor and Assault Intercessor as a base, and then I've got a bunch of Sanguinary Guard bits, Death Company bits. I've ordered some Primaris Blood Angels upgrades as well. And have you guys seen this month's White Dwarf?
Have I seen this month's White Dwarf? Why? What's in it?
Oh, right. Let me see if I can get this up on the screen properly. So there is there's a lot of kill team and board and action content in this month's White Dwarf.
Oh yes, I do remember seeing that actually.
And there is a Blood Angels sort of a narrative board in action featuring a squad of Blood Angels, and you can just sort of see him here. I think if I've got it properly there, if you can see it, this Blood Angels librarian on page 53, and it's I don't know if I'm on my camera properly there.
No, that's fine, Jay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, okay. So it's using a base of Chief Librarian Tigurius, who's the Ultramarines librarian, and then some Dark Angels upgrade bits, and some Assault Intercessor bits, and some Blood Angels bits to make a Blood Angels librarian. And I've ordered the pieces to try and replicate this model. So this will be I think it's an Acolyte in the Chaos Legionnaires kill team. It's like a little psyker. So I'm going to use this sort of conversion to represent the Acolyte. That's the plan anyway.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I think that should be a bit of fun to put together.
I think you're basically collecting Chaos, Jay, but I'll let you off.
No, the Blood Angels are as far from chaos as you can get.
It's a nice way of doing it though,
Save
because obviously we've got the you've got the Phobos Marines for the new edition of Kill Team, but obviously using that Chaos one, you've got quite a mix of different things you can take, then, haven't you?
Well,
For
this is it.
variety.
And that's it. That's exactly what I like about it, because the other Space Marine ones, like even the Phobos one, it is quite a sort of set, not much variation between the models in that unit. Whereas with the Chaos one, you've got some melee specialists, you've got some heavy weapon specialists, you've got a Psyker, you've got some combat specialists. So I do like it, yeah.
That should be really fun. I'm looking forward to seeing them done. Anonymous Rex has built up the UCM half of the Drop Zone starter box. Nice kits. Honestly, only suffer from soft details on the plastics.
Oh, Drop Zone Commander,
Yeah, the Drop Zone stuff's really nice. It was a cool game. It's basically epic 40k essentially, small scale.
I did like the Battlefleet Gothic.
Drop Fleet Commander.
Drop Fleet Commander, that's it, yeah, it's really good, that is.
Yeah. I'd love to see a new Battlefleet Gothic.
Yeah, wouldn't we all?
It's only a matter of time.
Well,
Is this a reset the clock moment?
Well, you know what? I would say that, but we've had squats and Sisters of Battle and Plastic Thunderhawk and all sorts, haven't we? So,
yeah, anything's possible.
Anything's possible now. And surely now, where we've got all the kind of Gallowdark stuff, we've got all the Arcs of Omen stuff, surely it's the right time for a bit of space combat love.
Yeah.
I mean, have you guys read the Arcs of Omen Vashtor yet?
Only the beginning bits.
There's so much cool stuff in there. Yeah, we need some miniature spaceship battles because there's so much cool stuff in that book. In all the books, actually. Obviously, they've gone for a bit of space combat kind of theme, haven't they? Steve Harper says, question, any thoughts on paints for Tundra Camo from the Rogue Trader book for the Raptors? Got a box of Phobos Marines and thought it might be fun. Yeah, like Tundra Camo. So I forget which one it was. One of the boxes, I think it was Shadow Spear. They had a lot of like stealthy kind of stuff in there, and they had nice like Tundra Camo capes on them. Do you remember, Jay? There was a librarian which had like a grey mottled cape, and I forget what they're called. The other shooty guys, Eliminators. Is that what they're called?
With the snipers, yeah.
And that is really, you could apply that to the power armor, and it'd look really, really good.
Yeah, I think that would look good.
I quite like guard.
They're like a dark green colour scheme, aren't they, Raptors?
Like a military green. They remind me of Gundam Wing, the Leo suits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jem Jackson says, evening. Just doing the skeleton of a knight errant tonight. And also, Battlefleet Gothic, lots of the Arcs of Omen artwork struck me as repurposed Battlefleet Gothic concept art. Well, you know what? It would not surprise me if they did Gothic. There's other spaceship games out there now, and I'm sure Games Workshop would rather people like play their spaceship game, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Jem, I have to ask, how's your Mad Goblin? He'll know what that means.
The Mad Goblin.
Mad Goblin. Me and Jem had a game at Warhammer World. What tournament was it?
Was it the Thundia narrative event?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was that. That was a great game. I think that came down to my endless spell at the end.
Your endless spell?
Yeah.
You do love an endless spell.
I do love an endless spell.
Right.
We should bring endless spells into 40k.
Well, you know what? I'm surprised that wasn't a thing. Apologies for the motion sickness inducing camera move there. Just want to try and get the focus in a little better. Hopefully that's better for you guys.
I'll close my eyes.
Sorry, just trying to shift the camera into a better position because it wasn't looking great on the screen. So yeah, it's So the event we're going to, it's a 2-day narrative kill team event, which is really fun because there's some really good stuff in the kind of narrative side of kill team. Even little things like naming all your guys and your base of operations.
Yeah, that's I was reading through that. The Spec Ops rules, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does look good. I'm gonna have to go through the pack. Do you know the event pack?
Yeah, well, there's some interesting stuff. You know what? I'm going to get it open now. I've got the event pack open. So, Kill Team Escape from the Gallowdark. Should be exciting. So there's 5 missions. They are all Gallowdark missions, but they're going to have a variety of different environments set up to fight over, which is cool. So different layouts and the like. When your kill team has arrived on the Gallowdark with some experience already gained, when you're picking your kill team, 2 operatives start as veterans with 6 XP, and 1 starts as an ace with 16. And you can pick specialism and battle honors for them. So that's cool. You've got some like elite guys that have, been tested. And then over the event, casualty tests work as usual, battle scars work as usual. Battle scars cannot be recovered over the course of the event, so recovery rolls can't be taken. So it looks like our little kind of gentleman's agreement rules has actually been folded into the event, so that's really cool. I think that's a cool thing with them.
Yeah.
Base of operations, equipment can be selected as usual. Rare equipment is available, but it's specific to the event. Requisitions work as usual. Spec Ops, the campaign will include custom Spec Ops for you to choose from. These will be available closer to the event, so we'll probably get those sent out. So that's pretty cool. Barricade, so obviously you need the sprue with all your tokens and stuff on anyway, but it does say that you can scratch build your own ones as long as the same size and shape of the official ones. So I'm thinking what we could do for mine is have some with like hazard tape across them.
Yeah, crime scene.
Crime scene, yeah.
That would be quite cool, yeah.
So I think I need to do that. I guess for the orcs, that's fairly easy for some ramshackle stuff. I mean, the standard plastic ones are fine anyway, but it just means that you can like theme them to your kill team. Like, say, you've got some Tyranids on your desk there, Andy. You could do some weird, like, chitin, fleshy kind of barricades, maybe, using like spare, armor panels off a Tyranid or something.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of extra bits you get in the Tyranid warrior kit. So you could just throw them on like a normal barricade, so it kind of looks like the barricade is slowly being digested by the Tyranids and turned into biofuel.
Suitably grim.
So from a army point of view, same as usual. GW event, they expect the army to be at least battle ready. You can do conversions, but the model must accurately represent its entry on the matched roster. And that's what you've been trying to do, Jay, isn't it? Where if it's got a big double-handed axe, you've modelled it with a big double-handed axe.
Exactly, yeah. I'm trying to make sure they look exactly the same as their Chaos counterparts, really, to avoid any confusion for the opponents.
So that's good. Now, one cool thing that is mentioned within the mission pack, they're all normal missions, and there's a lot of time. There's also a kill team pub quiz on the Saturday night that I think we're going to have to do, chaps.
Yeah.
But the final mission 5, is a 4-player game. So I do wonder if we're going to be, like with other events at Warhammer World, if we're going to be split into different teams.
Yeah, like invaders, defenders, that kind of thing, yeah.
In fact, they might even keep the same ones and tie it all together, mightn't they? Yeah. And that'd be really good, because then in that final game, if we all go on different teams, there is potential for a Sprues and Brews face-off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which has got to be done. It's got to be done. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think we'll have some good fun with the event. What is that? Curace leather.
Yeah, I've been trying to go to a kill team event at Warhammer World for ages.
Yeah.
They always seem to put them on a weekend that I'm working.
Oh right,
this is
okay.
Like the first one that I'm not working. So
at least you've managed to get it then. With the stars have aligned with this one, it seems, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In fact, this is the first one that we've all been to for a long time, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the last event we all went to together.
Don't get COVID this time, Matt.
I know. Well, I'm not planning on getting that. Don't worry. All right, we've got some belts and stuff on this guy to paint up.
Well, I am thoroughly enjoying painting Orc Commandos.
Are you?
Yeah, they're really cool. So at the moment, I'm doing the Knob with his big shooter and big power claw, and his absolutely cool baseball cap thing going on. Yeah, he's been a lot of fun so far, and I'm sure he's gonna. I mean, I've not had a game. I've had 0 games of Kill Team, which is great. Signed up for a Kill Team event, but I'm sure we'll have changed that. I was actually thinking, Matt, when you were talking about 2 operatives go in as veterans,
Yeah,
we should absolutely run a little mini Sprues and Brews Kill Team event, and that will work out which 2 of our operatives go in as veterans.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, pretty cool idea.
Yeah, like you kind of the prequel to the event.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Looks like the multi-stream's fallen over, so I'll have to rely on one of you guys to keep an eye on Twitch for me.
I'm looking in Twitch, yeah.
Steve Harbour says, was going to spray camo green and stipple on other colours. That's not a bad idea. And then Jem says, that's probably the closest game I've had. Those jaws still haunt me. The superhero Noblar has been retired to the shelf beneath my monitor, getting a well-earned rest.
Jem, we're going to have a rematch at some point. Yeah, that little Noblar, you nearly won it at the end. Little free Noblar, but not quite. But yeah, the jaws did me an absolute solid in that game.
You do like Revenax slashing jaws, don't you?
I do. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it was a really fun event. It's a shame you couldn't make that one, Jay.
Yeah.
It was the most fun, like, Age of Sigmar games I've had in a long time.
Yeah, they were really good.
I am looking forward to playing a bit of Age of Sigmar, though, when we see the new Seraphon.
Yeah, well, they shouldn't be too far off either, should they?
No. Gotta get Croak finished.
Good old Croak. I mean, he just looked really good, your Croak.
Yeah, it's coming along. I'm enjoying painting him, so I'm just taking my time with him. I've got the gold done now. So the next stage I need to start working on, I think, is that gonna be the sort of circular discs that are flying around him.
Oh yeah,
get the stonework done on them, and the vines and the leaves and things. Because then what I can do is use some washes and the things to sort of spread some like green onto some of the stone as well. So
yeah, no, that'd be cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with the new Seraphon. I take it you're going to want to pick up like everything.
Oh yeah, I've not seen a bad reveal for it yet. So,
well, is it next week after next? I think Adepticon. So we may see some more then as well. Yeah, and we are in March, Andy. The 12th of March it is today. So I think it's the 20-something of March. So week after next, maybe. Which should give us... Well, I think we'll definitely see the Seraphon. But the other thing... Well, if we talk about the little teaser that was on Warhammer Community today. Of a Tyranid creature of some description. With what looks like some kind of Primaris Terminator reflected in its eye.
Oh my word!
So I mean, we've been speculating for a long time on Tyranids versus Space Marines box. The unknown detail was what like chapter it'd be, and you can't really see very well. But I think it's a Blood Angel reflected in it.
I've seen a few comments.
No, an Ultramarine. Sorry, not an Ultramarine. Sorry, not a Blood Angel. Sorry, what were you saying, Dave?
Basically, what you just said. From the comments I've seen on Facebook so far, people are thinking it's an Ultramarine.
Which makes sense, because most of the starter boxes tend to be painted as Ultramarines. Now, I wonder if there's a little bit of... Obviously, we had lots of rumours of Dark Angels. Has the tail end of Arcs of Omen maybe, muddied the waters a little bit for people in the know? it wouldn't surprise me if we did get Angels of Death as a codex with Blood Angels and Dark Angels in there, but that doesn't stop the launch box still being Ultramarines, because they're the poster boy, aren't they?
And I think as well, it allows it's more a broader rate. What am I trying to say here? If it's a generic Terminator kit, lots more Space Marine players can use them.
Oh yeah, I always thought it'd be generic kits just painted as Dark Angels or Blood Angels. I think we certainly will get Dark Angel Blood Angels kits. A lot of these rumours are from people that have seen half of something a long time ago as well. A box in a warehouse or whatever.
Aren't Space Marines now effectively all together? It's just that all the specific chapter stuff are put into supplements, aren't they?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Bring out Primaris Terminator kit, then all of the chapters will have access to that same Terminator unit, won't they? It's just you'll get certain benefits depending on what chapter you're in, etc.
Yeah.
Jim
Jackson,
supplements, codex supplements rather than codexes.
They are, and there's not been a codex supplement for a long time, so it wouldn't surprise me if that becomes a thing of the past, maybe.
Yeah.
And we get something different to replace that. Just a couple of comments in the chat. Jem Jackson says, Primaris Dante on the horizon? Maybe. And Anonymous Rex says, isn't it a new Space Hulk board game? I don't think it is. From the fact that it's got the Warhammer 40k logo on the top of it, I think if it was Space Hulk, they wouldn't show the logo.
It looked like a Tyranid Warrior as well, rather than a Gene Stealer to me.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a new little Gene Stealer.
Okay.
Using the aesthetic of the Tyranids.
Yeah. I think Gene Stealers are going to look very different to what we think of them as now.
I don't know. They're iconic though, aren't they? And your Gene Stealer cult range is built around that look as well.
The Brood Lord and stuff.
Yeah, it'd be like changing a Space Marine to look like an Eldar or something. I just don't think.
Maybe not that big of a change, but I think
that thing on the teaser doesn't look like a Gene Stealer, so it would be a massive change, surely. Because that very much looks like a Tyranid Warrior, Hive Tyrant kind of aesthetic, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, if Tyranids are getting another wave, then it's likely to assume that there's going to be quite a lot of kits.
Yeah.
I mean, Gene Stealers, having built a few, gribble. Recently, they definitely need a new kit. I mean, they're on 25mm bases.
Yeah, they're getting a little bit long in the tooth.
Long in the claw.
Long in the claw, yeah. So we did kind of we got the 4th Kill Team Gallowdark box as well, which we thought again would be a really great place to have Primaris Terminators versus Gene Stealers, just for that Space Hulk kind of vibe. Now, if those Terminators are actually in the starter box, and this might not necessarily be a teaser of that box, it might just be a teaser of the summer being Space Marines versus Tyranids, and all of the 40k releases lean into that. Kill Team, boarding action, the main game 40k, the Codex releases. I do wonder if it's a more general teaser rather than specifically, one of those products, because with such a big, a lot of the Tyranid kits are old, aren't they? Really old. So we're talking probably a Necron style refresh, and by splitting that over a few different game systems, you can kind of, I guess, maximize the releases, can't you?
Yeah.
So
just quickly on that subject, just a bit of a round table. I know we've probably spoken about it on the podcast, but if we would see a big Tyranid range revision, what unit would you like to see redone?
Lots. The Hormigants and Termagants are very old and need to get redone. I'd love to see the Hormigants regain the look that they had in 2nd edition, where they were a bit more vicious looking, a bit more xenomorphy.
Yeah.
They looked more brutal than a Gene Stealer, really, with big claws, and I'd love to see that. The Carnifex needs to be reimagined into a big knight or something.
Yeah.
Obviously keep the Carnifex kit, but have something new that's big and gribbly. Same with, a lot of those, the big HQ models, so like the Hive Tyrant. whether they kind of replace that or they add a new strain creature that becomes a new HQ choice. The good thing with Tyranids is that they can do that, can't they? It doesn't
they're like the
invalidate
easiest
anybody's
range, aren't
army.
they?
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
invalidate anyone's army, but it gives you new options to use, and critically, new options for an awesome big new kit too.
Yeah. Like, oh, look what this is evolved into.
Yeah,
This big new version.
Jim Jackson just said the Lictor. Let's make Lictors scary again.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've always been a big fan of the Lictor. In the previous codex, it just wasn't worth taking. It just like it'd pop out, charge them, and go rah, and then just do nothing.
You go rah.
What did it do, Dave?
It goes rah, and then in the
That's why it wasn't very scary then.
No, exactly. In the current codex, he actually can do a little bit of work, but
What does he do in the current codex, Dave?
More of a roar, more of a deeper,
Okay.
A deeper, a throatier roar.
Yeah, but he's still not as scary as he should be.
I'm glad you're here for these tactical insights, Dave.
It's what I'm here for.
Of the noise a Gene Stealer makes. A Gene Stealer, a Lictor.
I thought the Lictors got a lot scarier in the new code or the latest code.
They're pretty good. We had a game, didn't we,
They are
recently,
better.
Dave? And
Yeah.
I think
We
it's
don't
safe
talk
to
about that
say, wow. Let's talk about that game now.
Ah.
They gave you a run for the money, didn't they?
They did. I mean, yeah, they did. Your Hive Tyrant really was what gave me nightmares. Still does. It just wouldn't die. But the Lictor was pretty good. The whole list was just really good. There wasn't really a bad unit that performed for you, and that's also bearing in mind that obviously Tyranids have had quite hefty points costs.
Yeah,
cut as well.
and bearing in mind the self-inflicted restrictions I'd put on myself of only using models from second edition,
Yeah.
which did make things a little bit trickier.
It was a really good game. I just didn't do very well, and the Tyranids were very good.
Yeah, I'm also excited to share the battle report that we filmed last week, Dave.
Yes, yeah.
So that should be out. Should be out next Saturday at approximately 10 a.m. Putting 2 and 2 together, you can probably guess who's in the battle report.
Speaking of battle reports, if you can't wait until next Saturday, hopefully after the stream, I'm going to check in the next hour because I'm currently just waiting for it to sort of finish polishing itself on YouTube. But there will be another battle report which we can talk about. Although we're not going to give any spoilers. But that should be going live, if not straight after the stream. Keep listening, basically, and I'll be able to tell you in the next sort of hour and a half of where we're at. But that was Jay and Matt, the first battle of our Crusade series.
Yeah, so do you want to give us a bit of background for the series, Dave?
Yeah, so I originally came up with this quite a while ago, and it's just different things delayed it. But basically, the narrative series is called Assault on Neville Secundus. It's a planet forgotten by the Imperium for some mysterious reasons, which will come to light. And the Leagues of Votan have kind of turned up and gone, this is quite a nice place. Let's settle here, do some Votan things, chill out on here for a bit. But they, unfortunately for them, encounter, an evil, really, within the mountainside near a base that they've kind of taken over that was formerly of the Guard. And it all kicks off. I think I can tell you guys that the opponent for Jay in this battle was the Chaos Demons, specifically Nurgle Demons, controlled by yourself, Matt.
Ooh, they sound good, don't they?
Really good battle. I mean, from the get-go, Jay's up against it, but you do really well, Jay. And I'm not going to give away the ending, but it nearly went. It could have gone either way, really. But yeah, it was very fun to put together. You guys put on a great game, and can't wait for everybody to watch it and enjoy. Hopefully,
yeah. One of the key things that we wanted to do with it was make sure it is a narrative battle report. So it's story first, isn't it? Really,
Yes.
and then
yeah.
getting that to work within the the format of a game. So we're not fixing it or anything. If things go sideways and the team that we didn't think could win wins, then so be it, and the story changes that way. But we didn't want to do like your standard match play tournament list.
No.
Something a bit more fun.
Absolutely. And also there was there was 2 missions written depending on the outcome of this one, so it wasn't like I was hoping for one to win. It didn't matter either way. That the narrative goes on, and the next one should be a lot of fun. I'll keep you posted the next hour and a half.
It was good with the fact there's no command rerolls. That was awesome.
Yeah, so I decided very early doors that this Crusade campaign would have some sort of tweaked bespoke rules. One of the things I really wanted to include was this no command point reroll. I think we rely on it too much, and I really wanted that kind of this really key psychic power's not gone off. Instead of I'll just use a CP reroll, you're stuck with it. That's the result. Change your tactics kind of thing.
Yeah,
and then also the other major change was I have stopped you from using inspiring presence, so there was no auto passing morale.
Yeah, there's quite a few restrictions that could. I guess it means that if something major happens, it happens, doesn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
See, I'm a big fan of just taking that inspiring presence out of the game for both Age of Sigmar and 40k. I think morale, the way it works in 40k, you just don't need the inspiring presence. Like, you want morale to actually be a thing. You want the occasional model to run away.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So obviously you say this is part 1. When can people expect part 2 to land?
So part 2, I need to discuss with the 2 parties who'll be taking part. But I'm hoping that we're going to get it recorded in the next probably 2 to 3 weeks, and then there'll be quite a quick turnaround on the battle report. We actually filmed this a few weeks ago, but with different kind of review stuff going on. I only got to kind of edit it in the last week. Hopefully, let's say 3 to 4 weeks, and we should have episode 2 out. And then at the moment I'm planning a sort of 4 or 5 game crusade, because I am wary that we have potentially got 10th edition on the horizon, so I want to try and get the crusade in and finished before the new edition lands.
No, that's cool. And obviously we want to do more battle reports, and we've been saying that since I moved into the new studio, I guess. So what we want to do is, for new books coming out, rather than I guess a little bit of a look behind the scenes, the way that we do the reviews has changed a little bit. So we still always do the written review, but one of the things that we can't really do as well now is the book reviews in video format, because it's either going to be me or Dave talking to the camera. And if you like that, let us know. That is cool. We can still do that. But we've felt that going forward, if a new Codex or Battletome comes out, we will do a battle report and talk through the new rules as part of that battle report. It gives you a bit more insight into what the units do, and then if you want the deep dive analysis, you can then read the written review.
Yeah.
And again, this, if you prefer us basically reading through the book and talking to the camera, we can absolutely do that. But we just thought it's a little bit different, and gives you a bit of a different insight into the army as well. And this is from us playing from a narrative point of view as well, rather than super hardcore tournament play.
We'll probably, if a key unit is changed, we'll probably look to include that key unit, regardless of how good it is or whatever. We want to make the battle reports fun, but also informative, and try and show off as much as we can of what's changed.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is something else to look forward to on the horizon. Now, Dave, I've heard whispers that there's other stuff going on in Sprues and Brews in the very, very near future.
Yeah, so I've been pretty quiet on socials recently. I've been painting a few bits and bobs behind the scenes, but a lot of my time's been taken up obviously with this crusade, and also we've got a couple other things. So I'm going to try and do this in order of like how people may think, like, oh, this is absolutely awesome. So I'm going to start with one of our most requested features was a Discord. I'm delighted to say that will be launching in the next 48 hours. We'll be having a Sprues and Brews Discord where you'll be able to chat to us. You'll be able to post your top threes. We'll be able to discuss stuff on the painting stream, different things like that. So that's the first thing. I mean, that should be quite fun because I mean, I don't really use that much Discord. I think you guys may use it a little bit more than me. So we're probably going to learn it as we're kind of doing it with our community, which will be fun. So that's cool. Secondly, the website, I can't remember the last time we did a redesign, Matt. It must be 3 years ago, I think.
Yeah, it was, I believe, it was when we got the current Sprues and Brews logo.
Yeah. We've got a new look website launching again in the next 48 hours. It's going to look a little bit different. It's still going to be really easy to use. There may be a couple of additional adverts, but what I was really keen on is, look, we've all been on, I'm not going to mention names, we've all been on websites where it absolutely throws adverts in your face. We don't want that on Sprues and Brews. So the most you'll find is some affiliate links on one side of the page.
So yeah, just to be clear, there's no like sponsored adverts or anything. There's no adverts.
No.
There's some affiliate links on the side of the page. So don't worry,
Yeah.
no pop-up adverts or anything.
No, nothing that's going to interrupt the digest of the content, basically. So yeah, that's going to go live next 40 hours. I hope people like the look of it. What I really wanted was to really make our sort of video stuff and podcast things pop a little bit more, which I hope I've achieved with the new look site. So that's really exciting. And then finally, something else that me and Matt we've probably been discussing this for 18 months or so.
Yeah.
We have decided to launch on Patreon. So basically what this will mean is our community members, if they like what we do, they can go on there and they can choose from 3 different tiers, depending on how much they'd like to support us. These tiers will unlock different things. Now, obviously, we all work full time. I know a lot of people on Patreon, sort of it's their full time thing. We're doing this because we want to give a little bit back to the community, and also we want to do some exclusive content. All our normal stuff, so all our reviews, all our unboxings, they will continue to be free. So it'll just be other different things that will go on our Patreon. But it's a chance for you guys to support. I know a couple of you asked me in the past, that you'd love to sort of sponsor us on there, and yeah, we're gonna give it a go. There's going to be an exclusive Discord group on there as well, so you'll be able to chat to us about different things, and we'll probably put a couple of extra reports and outtakes and stuff on there as well, and behind the scenes shots. It'll be really fun, I think. That's actually launched now. It's quietly been published in the background. I will be doing a post when we sort of launch Discord and the new website, but if you head on over to patreon.com/Sprues and Brews, you'll be able to actually view that right now.
So that is, let me put it in the chat, Dave. Let me put it in the chat so people can actually click it.
That's really cool.
Are you able to stick it in the chat, Dave?
I can probably do that, yes. Hold on.
On YouTube if you're on there, and Twitch. So yes, that is exciting. And again, so this is a way to help, I guess, help with the running cost of the site as well. If people want to support us, amazing. That'd be massively appreciated and helps us create more videos, more regular battle reports, all that kind of stuff, which has been tricky to do in the past. So yeah, and again, if it's only what you can afford as well. If you can't, then don't feel obliged to either. This is if people want to, they can do. We've always said we don't want to have content locked behind a paywall. So this is kind of more fun, behind the scenes, silly stuff, and some of the stuff that we couldn't maybe do on YouTube. So you might get the odd Sprues and Brews after hours as well, and silly stuff like that. Tim Unwin's in the chat. Evening, gents. Excited by the new Corn book news? Yeah, it looks pretty good. And Anonymous Frex says, nice, would love a Discord. So that should be live as well. But yeah, Dave will pop out all the deets once it is all up and running. Because, yeah, it's a bit exciting, isn't it? So let us know what you think of all that as well. Is this something that you're interested in? Is it something that you'd like to get involved with? Let us know, because we do this as a hobby and to try and make the kind of stuff that we'd find entertaining ourselves. So if something isn't entertaining or something that you don't like, let us know and we can try and tweak things, can't we? Well, I'm getting there with this RBT. There's lots of black.
Check the screen. Let's have a look. Oh yeah.
There's lots of black. I feel like the Fast Show sketch where he's painting. It's got like 3 or 4 different flavors of black on him. So let me grab. Jim Jackson says, "Good work. That all sounds ace. Amazing. Thanks, Jim." Spartan Bond Craze Leather. Sorry, Jay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm working on my first grunt now, and in true Blood Angels fashion, he's going to have a chainsword and bolt pistol. So I've used the Assault Intercessor base, but what I've done is I've got 2 arms and I've chopped off the chainsword and the bolt pistol that's equipped on the Assault Intercessor sprue, and I've had to flip the arms round, but I've taken a Blood Angels chainsword and a Blood Angels bolt pistol from the Death Company sprue and put them in on the opposite hands. And I'm quite chuffed. I was just experimenting then with a shoulder pad, but I've used a Blood Angels Death Company helm as well. It's like a Mark IV helmet. It looks quite nice, I think, on these Marines. But the shoulder pad I'd chosen has some angel wings that come off the side, and I think that just hides the helmet a little bit too much. So I need to find another shoulder pad. I do like this, just like putting things together. It's quite cool.
This putting things together sounds pretty cool.
I need to get another shoulder pad. Now, there's lots of good options on the Blood Angel sprues.
If you ever shot on a Death Watch shoulder pad, Jay, I've got about 1 million.
Well, I was thinking about making one of my squad members an Joe, like in Andy will know. Do you know in
the animation?
Yeah, there's a Death. He wears the Death Company shoulder pad still, doesn't he? I'm thinking that might be a cool idea.
The Angels of Death.
Yeah.
Yeah, when some of the Marines return to their chapters, I think they have it on. So Death Watch, if you're in the Death Watch, you have it on your left shoulder. But I think when you go back to your chapter, if you continue to wear it, I think it flips to your right shoulder. I think.
Okay, interesting. Right. Okay.
I think on Warhammer TV as well, there's a battle report they did between the Gene Stealer cults and the Space Marines from Angels of Death, and they actually modelled the characters to be the same characters that are on the show.
That's really cool, isn't it?
And the Gene Stealer cults are sort of like, kind of like black and white, like they are in the show.
Yeah.
And the Blood Angels are the only sort of red, like spot colour.
That's cool. I remember seeing that. I like kind of cool tie-in things like that.
Speaking of which, have any of you guys watched the new Iron Within?
I haven't yet. No, but it looks cool. What's your spoiler-free review, Andy?
So there's some spiky elves that are causing some trouble for some soldier people, and they send out a distress call, and yeah, you'll have to watch it to find out who answers.
Oh, you're teasing us with that, Andy. That's cool.
So it's good then, Andy. Definitely worth a watch.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's about 40 minutes long.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's actually quite a long one.
Is it? Who animates it? Is it the guy that did the Starties, or?
It looks very similar.
Yeah.
But I honestly could not tell you who's done it. But it does.
I believe it's by the Warhammer Storyforge team.
Oh yes.
Matt won't know because he's still not watched the Starties.
No, I've not.
You need to watch the start, especially if you're going to a kill team event.
I'm bringing the police. I watch Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
I love that film so much.
So, Andy, we've talked about this in the past for Next Wonder and stuff, but I am absolutely filling my kill team full of pop culture references, let's say. So we'll have some
Excellent.
bad.
Seen Bad Boys too.
Exactly, yeah. We'll have all the references in the force because it's not as if everyone and their dog is going to be doing the same. I don't even care. I'm going with it because it'll be fun.
I'm taking some blood angles.
Blood angles, yeah. The most angular of Space Marines. He's looking cool. I'm really enjoying painting these RBTs. They are very, very fun to work on.
See, I'm looking forward to cracking out the is it the Hand of the Archon, the Drukhari kill team? Yeah, I've wanted to do a Drukhari army for a while, but I've not really got the motivation to do a full-blown 40k for. So I think kill team could be a nice little
For the event, Andy.
For the event, I honestly have absolutely no idea what I'm going to take. But whatever I do take, I want to go to town on. I want to do a lot of conversions. I want to name them all.
Yeah, I think we're all coming from the same angle on that, aren't we? The same blood angle. Yeah, I think it just lends itself to that, doesn't it? Because you only need at most 20 models.
Yeah.
And like for you, Jay, you can take a kill team of 20 dudes, but you don't necessarily need all them, do you?
No, well, I think I have to check. I think the actual size is 6 models for me.
Yeah.
So as long as I get one of each of the specialists, and then a couple of 2 guys with bolt pistols and chainsaws, 2 guys with bolters, and then a specialist, I think that's all I need.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like with my guys, I need a few because there's so many of them. There's quite a few different specialists anyway.
Yeah.
Matt H says, I must be getting old. Just had to Google what a Discord is. You're not the only one. You're not the only one. It's basically like a chat forum, Dave. Is that fair to say?
Right, it's like a chat room, yeah. Basically, I'll be honest. As I said when I was kind of chatting about it, I've not got that all that much experience on Discord. So it's really been you guys who sort of said, when's there going to be a Sprues and Brews Discord? That I was like, yeah, well, let's have a look into that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It'd be great to chat to, our community members other than on sort of Twitter and Facebook. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun once that goes live.
Yeah, and again, stay tuned to spruesandbrews.com for all the news as it happens. I'm super excited to watch the battle report, honestly.
It was so much fun to edit. It was really good.
I think we need to give a shout out as well, Dave, to David, is it?
Oh my goodness! Oh man, if he's watching the stream, I apologise. So we were approached a few weeks ago by a lovely gentleman called Dave Sheard. I think that's how you pronounce his surname. To cut a long story short, he's created some bespoke music for Sprues and Brews, a shiny new intro, outro, and some transitional music as well. He's done an absolutely amazing job. It's like he's got the essence of Sprues and Brews into audio form.
The essence of Sprues and Brews.
Yes, absolutely. So we're actually going to be doing an interview on the website with Dave, potentially getting him on a future podcast as well, so we can kind of chat about what he does, and obviously the creation of the Sprues and Brews music. But I mean, I've thanked him loads of times. If you're watching, Dave, I want to thank you again for the work you've done on creating this music for us. It's amazing, and being able to edit along with that music has been fantastic.
Yeah,
It is such an awesome tune.
I could do with that being dropped somewhere. I can use that because I need to replace my current intros with it.
No problem. I can do that. Just remind me after the stream, and I'll get that done for you, Matt.
Ace. So, and our Andy Bryan, evening gents. Are there any Kill Team battle reports? We will be doing some Kill Team battle reports, absolutely. So, don't know if you missed the start of the show, Andy, but we are all currently working on our Kill Teams for the Escape from the Gallowdark event in June, I believe, in Warhammer World. So we will absolutely be doing some battle reports for these. The good thing with Kill Team, we can crack out a few battle reports in a day. And what we want to do is have a bit of the kind of the prologue to the event. So in the event, some of our guys start off like already leveled up. So we will determine who they are through the storyline leading up to it. So that'll be a bit of fun. But yeah, that'll be one of the things that does appear on the YouTubes in the very near future.
Andy, have you thought about leaving it to the chat on which kill team you should take? Have you given them an option?
Oh, that's dangerous. That is leaving it to the chat. I don't know. I've got Chaos Legionnaires. I've got the Blooded. I've bought all of the Kill Team boxes so far, so I've got quite a lot to choose from. It's just I need to stop procrastinating and pick one, which is obviously always the hardest thing to do.
It is, isn't it?
I've got like a few ideas in my head. I had an idea of an Orc Kill Team, but doing like a compendium Kill Team. So it's got like an Orc mech leading the Kill Team.
Oh yeah.
And then a couple of burner boys who are AKA Da Welders.
Okay, yeah.
Who weld all the mechs creations together, sort of thing. Then have a looter as the Orc that tests all the guns that the mech makes.
Tests the guns. Tests the guns. Yeah. Shoots them at the nearest snotling.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I thought, because that's one fire team, and then with the other fire team have just a regular Orc boy fire team, and have 4 orcs with essentially sluggers and choppers, but convert them to have like tools instead of
spanners
choppers
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're basically like the mech's kind of apprentices.
Yeah.
And then you can replace an Orc boy operative with 2 grots. So I was thinking of having 2 grots, and one of them is like an oiler. Because I think in the various Orc kits you get like different grots, and some of them have got spanners, and some of them have got like oil tanks and stuff like that. So that was one
cool.
idea. Yeah, and then you could always because they do the Orc mech workshop scenery kit, don't they?
They do, yeah.
So could have that, and then a couple of piles of the junk that you get in the Kill Team starter set, and build that into like a display board.
That'd be cool. We all thinking some kind of like display board for our forces then?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I think for Kill Team, it's because again you've not got many models to paint, have you? So it's quite nice to be able to do something special like that.
The fact that we're all painting our Kill Teams, well, apart from Andy, on this stream, sort of says that how quickly we should be able to get them out. So then we've got the rest of the time to, do these kind of things,
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it. It should be good fun. As long as I win and beat you guys. What I was thinking as well, I made you cough in shock. What I was thinking of doing is have a bit of a, I don't know, police warrants or something that I can hand out to players for the various infractions that they've done. So like have fines or something that I can write out and hand out to people. And that includes the event organisers as well.
Yeah.
If I can
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, if we can book Steve and have him some, infraction against the Empire, the Emperor, it's got to be done, hasn't it?
I'd like to see you hand an Adeptus Astartes penalty notice.
Yeah, well, that's it. He either pays up or he gets in trouble, doesn't he? Anonymous Rex says, "Why does the Orc's Apprentice make me think of a game show theme like Dragon's Den?"
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. The problem with us jumping on Kill Team, though, I can see it being a bit of a slippery slope, and we end up with like 20 different kill teams each.
That's my dream.
That's fine though. I think that's fine. Kill teams, like you say, are between 10 and 20 models.
So if that, yeah. So you can take a list of 20 people, and from that you pick your kill team. Now, on average, kill teams are between like 5 and 10 models, Dave. So you don't need to necessarily take a list of 20. You could just take the guys you want to use for a kill team. Obviously, taking more gives you more options at the start of the battle for what you pick.
Especially if some of you guys have got injuries.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you want to put someone on the bench. But realistically, you could just build your, like Jay, 6 guys that he needs, and then that's it. So for low model count, that's cool. And what's also cool with boarding actions as well, you could scale up these forces slightly to a boarding action force.
500 points, yeah.
Yeah. Especially since all the niche stuff like the RBTs, like the boarding teams, the rogue trader crew, all that stuff can be used in Gallowdark and boarding action missions too.
Yeah.
I've lost a leg.
You've lost a leg.
Uh-oh.
How goes the converting, Jay?
Well, let me this.
I've attached it to an Orc, Jay.
Oh no! So this is the one I've just finished. So he's not completely finished yet, but you can sort of see like.
Oh yeah.
I think he looks quite cool. I think so. A lot of Blood Angel stuff on the Blood Angel's chainsaw, Blood Angel's bolt pistol, shoulder pads, helmet, another shoulder pad. I've got some bits coming, so I can put some like teardrops and blood vials and things hanging off of his belt. I'm also thinking not for these guys, for the grunts, but certainly for the sort of aspiring champion and the anointed. There's some nice sanguinary guard sort of sculpted torsos and things that I'm going to try and shave off and put on, and on the knee pads and things. But this guy's just a regular tactical marine, so that's why he'll be okay like that, I think.
Cool.
And I've got to find his leg. So where did it drop? I have a feeling it dropped inside my paint bucket, which is going to be very hard to find.
You're never getting that back. So Jay's got a super organised professional paint storage method in literally a bucket filled with all his paints.
That's lasted like since Jay started in the hobby.
Yeah.
It gives me anxiety just to think about it. I've got
a
drawers.
By the way,
you found it, amazing.
It dropped behind the paint bucket, so I'm all right.
It was there can't be many worse fates than being banished to the paint bucket. So this is coming together quite quickly, really. If I can get this done over the course of the stream, that's not much time at all to get the whole kill team painted up.
Yeah.
And then next on my list is get the Gallowdark scenery painted up too. I've got a set for you there, Dave, as well, because I know you're keen on getting some painted up.
Excuse me,
How
sorry
did you
for my
find it
coughing.
to build?
How did I find it to build? I think it's okay. I think one of my hot tips is, let me see if I got them. So, I do order some strange stuff from Amazon, such as makeup brushes, but also nail files. And there's some files here that are like squared. If you stick one on top of the other and leave that kind of surface there, there's enough to pass your... Have I got any to hand? I haven't got any to hand. But basically the idea is you glue these together and then you can take your piece of scenery and just run it up and down it and it will file off just enough to make them fit without being too tight. Because depending on some of them have been okay, some of them are a bit tight. I think depending on the kind of batch that you have, they might be a little bit snug. How have you found them, Andy?
So it took me an entire weekend to get my set sort of built and at a stage where I could put it together. And I spent so much time filing down the ends.
Yeah.
That and then having to sort of test fit all the pieces as well. I mean, when you build the board, it's worth it. Like, it looks fantastic and it's really nice to play on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all about filing. It just got me.
I can hear it in your voice, Andy. I can hear it in your voice. The pain.
I mean, I've built this set. So with like Shadow Vaults and Soul Shackle, they had like an extra sprue in with like consoles and stuff like that. But the core set of it is still the same. So I'm just looking at that and thinking to myself, at some point I'll get around to building a second set so I can play boarding actions and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm in no rush.
Well, Steve Harbour has just asked a really important question in the chat. He says, is that an official Games Workshop paint bucket or new Sprues and Brews merchandise? That is a really good segue because in all seriousness, the Sprues and Brews merch store has reopened its doors. I can't on here, Dave. Are you able just whacking a link to the merch store into the YouTube chat and I'll copy it into Twitch?
I most certainly can. Bear with me one moment.
So on there, you can get T-shirts, you can get mugs, all sorts of stuff, hoodies. So I need to add a few more bits to the store because
no paint bucket though.
No paint bucket yet. No paint bucket yet. If I can get an official paint bucket, I'll get as a paint bucket. That'd be amazing. All the cool kids have an official. So yeah.
Oh.
I know you're keen for a Sprues and Brews hoodie, aren't you, Dave?
Yeah, I'm gonna get myself. I'm gonna get a new zip-up hoodie.
Nice.
Methinks to rep the brand.
Hi, Lost Skink joining us in Twitch.
Oh, we've got someone in Twitch. Lost Skink. Is Lost Skink excited for the new Seraphon releases? And in fact, anyone there's 13 people watching at the minute. Anyone who's joined us later, what are you working on? What is your hobby progress tonight? What have you been up to over the weekend? I've not spoke to you guys for a couple of days. I've been to some other cool stuff as well, in addition to Warhammer stuff. Dog Might Games sent us a Dungeon Master screen that I've been having to play with, and I gotta say, it is a nice bit of kit. Really, really posh. It's got like solid wood DM screen, all magnetized. It's all modular. So yeah, I've been having a bit of play on that. I'll have a video on that out soon in the near future. That noise that you can hear, I suspect, is Jay rummaging through a bucket of bases.
It was my bag of bases, that. But
oh, sorry, the bag of
quickly
bases. So yeah, have you guys haven't done much like in-person role playing for a while, have you?
No, not for a long time.
So I'm keen on getting some. You know, it's cool playing it online and such, but I think you lose some of the atmosphere when you're playing it remotely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played a bit of D&D during like 2020 and stuff like that. And I played a bit of Soulbound, and I absolutely loved Soulbound. I thought that was really, really good. And I noticed last time I was in Warhammer World, which is, God, 4 or 5 months ago now, a while ago. I'm sure they had the Soulbound sort of intro kit.
They did. I believe they do now sell Cubicle 7 stuff at Warhammer World, which is cool. I was down there for the open day last weekend, and the Cubicle 7 team were down there too.
Oh, nice.
So it's good that there's nice, decent like interaction between them. On that, we're trying to sort out an interview for the new Lustria book as well. So yeah, check out that. So Anonymous Rex says, just remembered they're rolling out sprue recycling bins to GW's shops soon. Yes, they are. So it's going to be a trial first of a few specific stores, and if it goes well, they'll then be rolling it out across, nationwide. What do we think of sprue recycling in store, chaps?
I like
About
it.
time. Yeah. Yeah.
I think one of the things in the past is it's actually quite expensive to do. Because you've got to think about, I guess, the environmental impact of collecting together the sprues, then driving them somewhere else. Does that outweigh what you'd gain from recycling them?
Well, aren't they selling them to other companies so those companies can recycle plastic into their products and stuff?
I think that's essentially what they're doing. Yeah. So
like kids' playgrounds and stuff.
Yeah. So the plastic recycled wouldn't be good enough quality to create GW kits, and that's why they don't do it. But by selling it to other companies who can then use that, used sprue to create something else, it's a pretty good idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if anyone does it, but if you stick it in your recycling bin at home, it can't actually be recycled. You've got to throw it in your black bin or whatever colour bin is in your area. Rob Scott says, good evening all. I'm an hour or so late, so I assume you've already speculated about the Terminator on Warcom. We have, but that's not to stop us having another chat about it. Tonight, they're painting their Fiends of Slanesh. 1.5 done, halfway. Excellent. Andy Bryan also says, the GM was excellent, Andy.
So Andy Bryan was the GM. He was all right. He's all right.
So Terminator, we kind of meandered around it, but I don't think we kind of went full into our thoughts on this Terminator, did we? We talked more about the Tyranids. So reflected in this Tyranid's eye is the iconic kind of like, I guess, helmet of a Terminator, isn't it? Like the stereotypical Terminator that you imagine.
Yeah.
You can't really see much, but presumably this is Primaris Terminators. Jay, I know this is something you've been super excited for in the past, isn't it?
Yeah, and when we've talked about it before, I've always been keen. I want them to be Terminators. I don't want them to be like aggressors or in Gravis armor. I want them just to be upscale Terminator tactical dreadnought armor for your Primaris Space Marine.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've only seen the helmet, but that helmet is a tactical dreadnought armor helmet. So if these are just big, chunkier Terminators with storm bolters, power fists, thunder hammers, storm shields, but with a Primaris Marine inside, it's going to be so cool.
Yeah, it really is. It's again, it's the iconic look of a Terminator, isn't it?
And I mean, especially, can you imagine how good it's going to be to have a massive, upscaled, fearsome-looking Tyranid warrior against a squad of Primaris in tactical dreadnought armor? That is just going to look so epic, I think.
Do you think this will be new Tyranid warriors then, or do you think it's the rumored like Apex Swarmlord?
Oh, I personally myself, I love the Tyranid warrior, but I think if the Primaris are getting Terminator armor, I think they need a big gribbly like a Tyranid. The Tyranid warrior is the equivalent of a Space Marine Terminator for the Tyranid army, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I would just love to see them go toe to toe with like a, almost like a custodian style Tyranid.
Yeah. You know what I'd love to see? I know you the cheesy, but the second edition Tyranid warriors, that but reimagined, because the classic models stand probably twice as tall as a current Tyranid warrior. I've got one on my desk. I haven't got one on my desk, unfortunately. They've got the big silly bunny teeth, the current models, but that doesn't mean that the new ones would have that. You have that as a basically a different type of Tyranid bioform. It's like you've got the Tyranid warriors as a troops choice. You then have the elite Tyranid warrior equivalent.
Yeah.
They'll have a much more trademarkable name than warrior.
Something. So no, I think it's cool. I would be tempted to get the Iron Ravens out if there's Terminators on the go, because I think Terminators is just one of those, like the Dreadnought. It's just one of those units, isn't it? That just screams 40k. Anonymous Rex says, I hope they get chain guns and big bolters. New Broodlord with lots of bits to match the variants from Space Hulk. Yeah. I suspect if we get new Gene Stealers, we'll get all the different variants of Gene Stealers that we've seen as well. Like the Yarmagul Gene Stealers with the big gribbly tentacles and stuff.
Yeah.
Which did have rules at one point, where I don't think they really do now, do they?
No, not anymore.
Which is a shame.
See, the one nice thing about that teaser for me was, like you said, they've kept the look of the Terminator helmets.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, at some point in the future, probably not anytime soon, we're probably going to phase out Firstborn Marines and bring in, whatever's not in the range for Primaris. And it's nice to see that if they do that, then at least we've still got that iconic looking Terminator helmet.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what I miss. I mean, I do like the new Redemptor Dreadnoughts, to be fair, but the Land Raider, to me, it's such a shame the Primaris can't ride around in the Land Raider. And as much as I like the Execution and the Repulsor, it's no Land Raider. And like you say, if they got rid of Terminators, then yeah, that would be it would be a shame, because it's such an iconic look and silhouette.
Personally, I don't think they're ever going to get rid of anything. It just basically gives you new kits that they could have just replaced them, couldn't they? But I think we'll get we may, even if they're Legends rules or something, I think there'll be a way of using your existing Space Marine army always.
I can see them. I mean, look at what they did to Age of Sigmar.
That was a different game essentially, though, wasn't it?
It was. But if you look at how big the Space Marine Codex is now, how many data sheets you've got in it, I can certainly see them releasing a much smaller Space Marine Codex. And like you say, I think initially those Tactical Marines, Assault Marines, they'll be a Legends equivalent, but then that's just the next step along to not being there at all, I think.
I think especially with the Heresy now, if you want the kind of case will unofficially be, if you want to collect Firstborn, go to Horus Heresy and have fun.
Yeah. But then if those kits exist for Heresy, why wouldn't they allow them in 40k?
Yeah. I think I'm with Jay. It's going to get to a point where the Space Marine Codex is going to be silly size.
See, what I wish they'd done with Chaos Space Marines, what they did was, instead of replacing the Chaos Space Marines with like the Primaris equivalent of Chaos Space Marines, they just upscaled them.
Yeah.
And I would have preferred it if that's what they had done. So they'd basically like phased out the tactical squad, but then brought in intercessors that you could have a specialist weapon or a heavy weapon with, and then done the same with like Assault Marines, phased out the Assault Marines and brought in Assault Intercessors. But then they just, you can still use your Assault Marines as Assault Intercessors. It's just that, narratively, they're no longer sort of making the Firstborn Assault Marines anymore. They're only doing Primaris. And then that way you could still use your old stuff, but you're not going to be buying it going forwards.
I guess we'll never know. I've always wondered if that was the intent all along, and then they decided actually let's not invalidate people's armies because of the kind of backlash they got from AOS.
Maybe. I don't think they can just yet, because I think there's still too many Firstborn. I mean, if you look at Space Wolves, Blood Angels, to a degree Dark Angels, but not so much. They still got a lot of unique units which are based on that Firstborn template.
I mean, even the tactical squads, like it's not a horrendously old kit. You know, the Devastators, the Assault Marines, they still hold up, don't they? So
yeah. I personally don't think they'd get rid of the classic Space Marine range. They might cycle them in and out of production, but I can't see them getting rid of them. Even if it's a case of, like you've got the expanded units in Heresy, where it's not in the book, but the rules for them are on the website, but they're fully legal.
yeah.
I just think a lot of people have got a lot of Space Marine models, and they wouldn't want to throw that all in the bin overnight.
Well, that's what I mean. It's not been overnight, though, has it, really?
Well, no, but today you can use those units, and tomorrow 10th edition comes out and you can't use them. Is overnight really?
No. What I'm saying is they won't be in the codex. They'll be, like you say, online, and then the next thing, they're no longer online. I mean, people have spent a lot more at Forge World and had rules taken off them.
Yeah, I guess that's a different situation though for Forge World ones.
Games Workshop would realistically have to say to everyone, "Hey, listen, we're taking Space Marines off the shelves or Firstborn Marines off the shelves in 8 months. You know, you can still use them, but they're going to be like legends or whatever."
Yeah.
Then it would be, at least then you're like, oh, okay, fine, we've got 8 months of Firstborn. Because I prefer the Firstborn Marines, if I'm being honest, to the Primaris stuff. But that's because I've grown up with them as a kid.
Yeah, and there's a lot of how both systems work at the minute is down to nostalgia.
Mm.
Nostalgia's worth. It's a big deal, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you don't just actively alienate your customers by doing that. It seems a bad idea from a marketing point of view.
But at some stage, things move on.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's. I'm intrigued to see what we do get for 10th edition. I'm really excited to see kind of what developments we get from a lore point of view too.
Yeah.
Because the Arcs of Omen stuff has been crazy good. Over in the chat, Anonymous Rex says Tyrannic War Veterans would make an amazing Space Marine hero set, and I do miss the old Devastators and Heavy Bolters.
Well, that's something I don't like about the Primaris. Is like, I love your las cannon, I love your heavy bolter, I love your multi melter. I don't know why they've had to create all these crazy new, especially in where the Imperium aren't advancing. They don't. I know calls come back with new things and whatnot, but just make a Primaris heavy bolter. Why do you need to invent some new kind of weapon? I've never understood that, but there you go.
Yeah. Right.
Isn't the heavy bolter on the heavy intercessors? That's just the old traditional heavy bolter, isn't it?
Yeah, no. Well, they can take the heavy bolter. You are right, Dave. They've got some other options as well. But I do like the Primaris models, I have to admit.
I like the assault intercessors. They're really nice.
They're a bit more upscaled, aren't they? They're a bit more. There's a bit more to them. And looking badass is like the most important thing, really, at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, and ironically, my favourite Primaris Marines are the Marines that come in the launch boxes, the start sets. The 10th edition, the 9th edition one and the 8th edition one, they're my favourite intercessors. I much prefer them to the multi-part ones.
There's something about those push-fit kits, isn't there? I mean, I'm a big fan of push-fit kits myself. A lot of people turn their nose up at it. And a lot of people claim that they don't go together very well. I've had push-fit kits that go together nicer than like multi-part kits.
See, my only experience with the easy to build stuff is from the Night Haunt kits, and my issue with those was they all came on scenic bases.
Oh yeah,
which I really just didn't like, but they were, funnily enough, easy to build. Yeah.
What should come my converted Blood Angels torso?
Ooh, let's see. Sorry, Jay. So what's that build out of?
So this is, I've just sliced off the front of the Intercessor torso, found a Blood Angels logo, snipped off the blood drop, and stuck that on the middle.
Nice.
So this guy's just going to be, I think he's just going to be armed with a bolter, this one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get the Primaris bolt rifle and splice it with a Blood Angels bolter as well. So I've tried to do that so you can see like the rather than using the heavy bolt pistols on the Intercessor Sprues, I've actually swapped them for bolt pistols.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to keep everything as it is. The only difference will be the size of the Marine as opposed to a regular Space Marine, but hopefully that's not too bad.
No, I'm sure that should be fine, Jay. No, that's cool.
Lost Skink in the chat is he's busy. You surmised correctly, Matt. He is looking forward to the Seraphon, the only army he plays, or they play. And they're airbrushing up the bamboo from the Warcry starter set tonight. Once he's done, he'll have the set complete. Is that including the 2 war bands as well, then, or just the scenery?
Did you pick up the Hawaii?
I've got them, down here. I've not built them yet, though. I've had the sprue open, though. They are awesome. They're really, really cool.
They really are. They if that's kind of again a glimpse at what we're getting going forward, like, could you see chameleon skinks replacing the standard kinks kit? Maybe.
Ooh.
I mean, the skinks aren't bad, are they? They still stand up.
Yeah, they do. And I mean, I would have said yes, because I think you've got in the Warcry set, you've got combinations of shield and sword and spear and blowpipe. So you've got the whole range in there. They look really, really good. But then in the previews, obviously they're the regular skinks are riding those new what were they called?
The raptor things.
The Raptidons, yeah. So I don't think the skinks are going anywhere just yet. But the skinks aren't a bad model, to be fair.
No, the issue I always had with the Sauruses.
Yes, yeah.
You think they need a new kit then, Andy?
Yeah, the skinks just need a new kit, like most of the stuff in the range, really.
They're not too bad, though, I don't think.
They're not terrible, but when I got into the hobby, I think they were released in the month, like the White Dwarf that I got into, and it's still the same ones, and that's like 20-odd years ago now.
At what point in this conversation is Jay going to start talking about Eldar?
What, dinosaurs?
No, as in Age of Models.
Oh, Age of Models. Oh, the Warp Spiders. Oh, I'd love new Warp Spider models. But not right now. There's too much on my painting schedule to even contemplate new Eldar reinforcements.
Can you imagine?
Games Workshop spites Jay by bringing out Warp Spiders tomorrow. That'd be funny.
I mean, this is the point, though, isn't it? What kits would you like to see updated? If we're talking, you could have any kit updated by Games Workshop, but you could only ask for one. What would it be? And that goes to the guys in the chat as well. Let us know. Sanguinary Guard. That'd be cool.
Ooh.
Only because I'm currently reading Echoes of Eternity at the moment. Not Echoes of Eternity. I read that one. The End of the Death. I'm feeling very, very much as a loyal son of Sanguinius at the moment.
Is that what inspired you to start your kill team, Jay?
Well,
yeah.
Because I was very surprised you didn't do the Corsairs as our resident
Eldar Corsairs. Yeah. No, I have. I mean, I was planning on doing some Blood Angels anyway this year for the different systems, and this just gives me an excuse to get into that sort of swing without having to worry about doing such a big army of them initially.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have read obviously Echoes of Eternity recently, and then obviously I'm reading now the End of the Death Part 1. So yeah, I am, and I think it always helps to sort of be. It helps motivate and keep you going. I think when you're sort of into an army like that, into a faction.
Yeah, definitely. Andy says that book is amazing.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention any spoilers because I know you guys have got to catch up. I'm currently, I think I've got about 3.5 hours left. I was listening to a little bit of it earlier on. The first, like, it's a big book. I'm listening to it on Audible. So most of the Horus Heresy books are about 12 hours on Audible. This one's 18 hours. The first half of it, the first 9 hours, absolutely incredible. Then it seemed to sort of lose a bit of steam, I felt. And I'm hoping it's going to start picking up again in these last few hours. But yeah, I won't say anything else now until I don't want to risk spoiling it.
Amazing.
Spoiler: Horace wins.
Horace lost the second he threw his lot in with the Dark Guards. He just doesn't know it yet.
Well, some would say that. See, I'm more.
Imperials.
I'm really interested to see kind of what happens. You know, stuff that we've expected maybe that doesn't play out the way that we think it's going to go.
Yeah, very interesting.
So Jim Jackson says, anyone who complains about push-fit kits not going together well probably need to keep away from certain Forge World resin. Exactly, yeah. And ironically, the kind of people who complain about push-fit kits probably rave about resin kits. I think, unfortunately, there's a bit of a... what's the word? I guess a negative view on that it's like not a proper kit, and it's like it's designed for not advanced hobbyists, where push-fit kits are, at the end of the day, the most of the time the sculpts are just as good. Certainly recent ones, maybe early ones were a bit basic back in the day. But
I think they're better. I think if you look at the Indomitus set and what was it Dark Imperium before that?
Mm-hmm.
I think those kits are better than the push fit ones.
Yeah.
Okay, you're missing a few options because obviously the Assault Assistance kit you get the Power Fist, the Thunder Hammer, that kind of thing. But the actual poses I think are a load more dynamic. I mean, certainly the regular Intercessor squad from Dark Imperium, where you've got like Marines that are like aiming down the sights of the bolter or leaning backwards, shooting behind. I think they're really, really cool looking.
Yeah,
and you can't reproduce any of that with the push fit, the multi-part kits.
No, though I guess more recent multi-part kits are more mono pose to let you do some more cool stuff like that.
Yeah.
Andy says Khorne always wins. Yeah, Khorne cares not. Oh, these RBTs are an amazing kit. I can't wait
the
to...
space doggo yet?
I have built the space dog. Where is he? There is a space dog.
Is he in your kill team? I assume you can take them in your kill team.
He's absolutely going in. I've even got the dog handler. Because there's like, I could build a medic, or I could build the guy who looks after the dog. Well, clearly there's no competition there. My poor guys die. That's fine. There's loads more where they came from. The dog controller's the best one.
You know the dog from, is it Wallace and Gromit?
What, Gromit?
No. The one from the Shaun of the Sheep one that gets turned robotic.
Shaun of the Sheep. It's not some kind of like Shaun of the Dead crossover.
I can't remember what he's called now.
I can't remember
his name
or something.
No. What's his name?
If you know the name,
Google.
I was going to say in the chat, if you know the name of the robotic dog from Shaun the Sheep. How have we got onto Shaun the Sheep?
Preston,
there you go.
That's not a bad name, actually.
That's not a bad name. Right. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there on these RBTs. I say these RBTs, this RBT. Anonymous Rex says, new Chaos Lord on Dragon. I assume that's in relation to kits that we'd like to see redone. In fact, we only got as far as... Who do we get as far as?
Jay.
Did it? Jay. So I'd like to see Gene Stealers, an obvious one. I'm collecting a bit of a Tyranid army at the minute, and the Gene Stealers are so old now. Redone kit for AOS. Dryads.
Yeah.
Dryads are getting a bit long in the tooth now.
See, for me, for Age of Sigmar, I'm torn between either Iron Guts or Man Crusher Gargants.
Man Crusher Gargants. See, I think they still stand up. If you said Man Eaters, I'd be all over it.
Yeah. 40k wise, whoa, I don't know. Honestly, don't know.
What about you, Dave? You've been very quiet.
I am here, but I'll explain what I'm doing in just a moment.
Oh, that's mysterious. So spoilers to the chat. I suspect Dave's pressing the go live button on the YouTube video. Right, we need some chipping. We need some chipping
tomorrow when I get home.
Yeah, I'll be watching it too. Like I said, we've played through it, haven't we, Jay? But we haven't seen the kind of end result. All right, what do we want on here? We want to wash down that.
Tell you what, I think I've dry brushed my fingers almost completely silver now.
Have you? How are you finding painting it? Have you done the actual bulkheads yet? Or you just started on those little joining pieces?
I've done a couple of the small ones. So there's a couple of like small pieces that don't have hatchways. And I've done them. I'm spraying it silver, basically, just spraying it lead belcher, and then I'm picking out details with. So the lights are ball red with contrast paint.
Oh yeah.
The cables are Black Legion contrast paint. Any copper pipes are a mixture of either Nazdrag yellow contrast or Balthazar gold.
Oh, nice.
And then I'm picking out little bits here and there with like Retributor armor, control panels and stuff like that are going to be grey sear followed by Carandrous green.
Oh right, yeah.
I have to say, when I tried out the original contrast paints, I wasn't a big fan of like Wraithbone and Grey Seer.
Yeah.
But trying out the newer contrast paints, it's real. I'm really liking them, especially on like this Kill Team scenery where it's kind of a tester almost. Yeah, I'm loving it. It's making it so much quicker to paint.
Well, if you need any hints and tips, Andy in the chat says, "Do you need any tips on painting silver?"
Do you get a spray can by any chance?
Sorry if I missed this bit, but what did you spray your scenery with, Andy?
So I just did straight up lead belcher, straight out of the can. I was watching the painting phase with Peachy, and what he did, he built it all and put it all together, and then sprayed it together, which was quite, a smart idea. But he sprayed it black first, so he could easily see where he'd sprayed, sort of thing, and then he did like an almost like a Xenophor highlight of silver. And in hindsight, if I had any black spray paint, I probably would have sprayed it black and then sprayed it silver.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people spraying them black. That's the reason I asked. If you went silver or did you go black?
The advantage of spraying it black first is that you can leave that black in the recesses and give the illusion of shading, and it'll be less work than painting it silver. Then it all looks a very clean and shiny spaceship then, even if you cover it in washers.
Well, I did contemplate maybe using something like Rune Lord Brass.
Oh yeah.
As a base spray.
So I'm going to do mine similar to how I do my Necromunda scenery. So spray it black, spray it grey. For Red Dwarf fans, I don't know if it's military grey or battleship grey, but a grey for the walls of the ship. and then I'm going to go in and do all the metallics and all the kind of little doodads and stuff with metallic Sharpies. I use them on my Adeptus Titanicus trims. Makes life so much easier. So rather than trying to go around and paint lots of little tiny details, I can just quick 5 minutes with a pen, do all them, wash it all down, and then dry brush the hell out of it. Essentially.
So, Rob Scott says in the chat, if they did a new Black Knights and Graveguard kit, he'd be all in on a say white Gravelord army. I really like the current Graveguard kit.
Oh no! That Graveguard kit needs updating ASAP.
It is a little bit. I mean, look, if you look at the Sons of Velmorn from Warhammer Underworlds, that's a cracking kit. And they're essentially Graveguard.
Anonymous Rex says Chaos Space Marine Predator and Rhino because they've fallen behind. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
And then Jem Jackson says one kit to be updated: White Scars Khan on bike. Current one can't compare to the new Outriders.
Yeah.
It's quite surprising because they did those Space Marine heroes, didn't they? And they put the White Scars Khan on foot.
Gave him a bird, though.
Yeah,
it was. Bird, yeah.
It always struck me as odd, especially since you can now, especially in Arcs of Omen, do some cool, really kind of thematic armies, can't you?
Yeah.
So just to catch up a little bit, yes, Matt was right. The reason I disappeared is because I was setting our battle report to premiere. So at 9 o'clock, when we finish streaming, you can watch the Leagues of Votan versus the Chaos Demons in our first film battle report for quite a while. Full-on narrative battle report.
Well, that's cool. Well, we'll make sure to finish at 9, so if people want to watch it live, they can do. So that is in what? 23 minutes time. So yeah, set your alarms, people. This should be a really fun one.
First battle report I've ever edited, so I hope people enjoy it.
See, I'm really excited because I edited all our previous ones, so having not seen any of the raw footage, I'm quite excited. And to be honest, I can't actually remember who wins, so even though I was in it, so that'll be fun. It'll be like, oh yeah, that happened, and then
the
yeah,
viewers win. Matt. The viewers win.
the viewers win. I feel I win as well. Getting to watch an awesome battle report. Yeah, no, I am looking forward to it. From the little sneaks and peeks that I have seen, Dave has done a cracking job on this one.
Thank you. You'll watch it now and go, that was terrible.
Yeah, I'll be like, no, let's take it down.
Steve Harbour says, Graveguard are a pain to build. They look awesome, though. And he says, I just want new Doom Divers. Yeah, me too.
Doom Divers, yeah. Are they still a thing?
No, they're legends now.
Oh, that's a shame, because Doom Divers are ace.
But then they brought back Snarlfang Riders, didn't they? Which were effectively Goblin Wolf Riders.
Yeah.
Which I imagine is probably because they're going to bring back a full Gitmob Grot army for Old World.
Well, yeah, a lot of the recent kits, we've speculated on this recently, haven't we? A lot of the Gloom Spike kits and the Slaves to Darkness kits and even the new Beast Lord for the Beast of Chaos. A lot of that is probably going to be dual purpose, isn't it?
Yeah.
And work just as well for the Old World whenever that happens.
There's more Old World news this week, isn't there?
Is there?
Yeah, right at the bottom of the pre-order post, it mentions it.
Well, it is the 40th anniversary of Warhammer this year, along with my 40th birthday. I'm as old as Warhammer. Maybe there'll be a joint celebration. Who knows? But yeah, I am very much looking forward to it. You're indifferent, aren't you, Dave?
Me, yeah, I'm very indifferent. Maybe it's because I never really had a lot of games of fantasy. I enjoyed the Triumph and Treachery games that we had, Jay.
Yeah, Triumph and Treachery days.
I'm struggling to get really excited for the Old World.
Andy
which
and
is
Jay, I
fun.
take it you guys are excited about it.
Oh yeah, I can't wait
Oh,
for the
yeah.
old world.
Yeah, I'm all in when that comes out.
All in. What's your hopes in that initial wave then? And this is to everyone watching along as well. Just on that, Rob Scott just says, I'm looking forward to the battle report. How long is it until the next podcast? So.
Well, actually, we need to discuss this after the show. It potentially could be recording this week, depending on. Obviously, this is brand new information for Matt and Andy. So we're hopefully going to be recording one this week. And if we do record one this week, it'll be out this week.
Well, it sounds to me like there's an episode out this week then. Yeah, that's cool. We've got some non-Warhammer content coming up this week as well. Like I say, we did the review of the GM screen for Dogmite. That should be up this week. And did an interview with Parabellum War Games on their Conquest Last Argument of Kings. So that's a really cool interview. That will probably appear in that podcast as well, Rob. And there will be a video version. Jay, you want to listen to that one because there's some cool Conquest stuff in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, and yeah, lots of cool stuff on the horizon. Not a lot of times, basically the motto at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've got, I guess, the show after that will probably be the Adepticon reveals show. What do we hope? I know 10th edition is probably going to be the biggie and Seraphon, but is there any out there stuff that you'd like to see shown off at Adepticon?
Some
Out
more
there
Middle-earth
stuff.
would be nice.
Somewhat, Andy.
More Middle-earth stuff would be nice.
Middle-earth's been quiet, hasn't it? We do
Yeah.
know that there's we had the new starter box, didn't we? And we know that there's new scenery coming at some point. But there's been no word of like next supplement or anything, has there?
No.
It's been a little while since the last one.
Well, they haven't done. Is it Harad with all the Mummakill and stuff like that? I don't think they've done an expansion.
That'd be cool, wouldn't
into
it?
that territory. Yeah, because then you
Yeah.
could bring in Prince Imrahil and all the. Is it Fiefdoms? Is that how you
The
pronounce
fight,
them?
yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. New models for them because they're quite old models too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be
Dragon
cool.
Knights.
The Swan Knights, you mean?
Yeah,
Swan
Swan
Knights,
Knights of
sorry.
Swan
Dol
Knights of Dol Amroth.
and
Is
the
that, don't they play a big role in the books?
In
They
the
do,
book,
yeah, they do.
Yeah, but they got cut from the films, didn't they? Which is a shame.
on a related note, what do we think of Warner Brothers doing new Middle Earth films with the involvement of Peter Jackson?
Oh,
Yes.
Not worried.
Are we-
I hadn't heard about the bit about with Peter Jackson.
Yeah. So Peter Jackson is basically getting the band back together and doing more Middle Earth films.
Did you
Be
say
interesting to
Warner
see-
Brothers?
Warner Brothers, yep.
Aren't they the ones that do all the DC stuff?
Yeah, they are, but they also did the Lord of the Rings stuff. Well,
Oh,
Hobbit
Line,
technically
isn't
they
it?
did. New Line Cinema, which I think was absorbed by Warner Brothers,
Yeah.
I liked the Hobbit stuff.
and that was under the Warner Brothers umbrella. So yeah, it's cool. So in the chat, Andy says, "Are you folks interested in Shatterpoint? This is the new Star Wars game by Atomic Mass Games." Yeah, I fancy giving that a go. It looks very much like Marvel Crisis Protocol through a Star Wars lens, and that might appeal more to you, Jay, rather than Marvel Crisis.
I was looking at it because I think you can pre-order it all now, and it does look quite nice. It's like the slightly larger scale, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm sure you roll your eyes when we're all getting excited about obscure comic book character getting a Marvel Crisis miniature.
I don't roll my eyes. Everyone's into different things, aren't they? So
The important question is where it appears in Dave's rank of Marvel films.
Yeah, I mean, I was
Why
waiting
does
out
this
for
come up
that.
on every stream? Every stream this comes up.
Is it 12 out of 10 or 15 out
I think
of
it's
Be
10?
a
12 out of
different
10.
horse.
Steve Harbour says, I remember playing first edition Warhammer Fantasy Battles and then left to play RPGs, returned to play 8th edition. Yeah, I think, Steve, you're going to like the old world then. I think they've said they're going to use the best parts of all the editions, so that's exciting. Rob Scott says, Adepticon, I think we're about due a Slanesh cult Warcry warband. I think so too. Like you say, all the other gods have been represented within this season of Warcry.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Unmade, and they're kind of Slaneshi.
But I guess the difference is that they've not got the Slanesh keyword.
No.
Like
I could see a Slanesh and Lumineth.
Yes, that'd be good actually. So, a Lumineth warband, because that's one of the reasons you've not used them for Warcry, because you prefer the feel of the bespoke ones.
I do, yeah. So you could have like a River Temple or even one of the Tyrian elves.
Oh, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? As a little kind of like teaser into what we might get in the future.
Yep.
Well, didn't they mention in, I think it was the Heart of Gur box set, that the guy who discovered, I forget the name of the ship
Talaxis.
Talaxis.
Talax. I think it's the guy's name.
Didn't he go back into the Narwood to try and find it again, and hasn't been heard of since? That's
right. Yeah, his little adventurer band has disappeared, and that might be a nice kind of first sight of the Stormbringer Crusades as well.
Yeah.
If you think that's going to be, Empire, for want of a better word, but with the new aesthetics, I reckon we might see that. Grace here says, hopefully Old World will be the fun of 4th edition with the design of 6th edition. Not too much Hero Hammer. Yeah, it's hard to say, isn't it? Like, Heresy, they reworked a lot of things, really, didn't they? While still having the feel of Heresy.
My hope is that my big gripe with 8th edition, I used to play Warhammer. I used to play dwarfs back in Fantasy, and I used to take quite a nice mixed arms list rather than just a gun line. Because that's, if you were playing dwarfs and you wanted to play them competitively, you played a gun line, and it was either you kill, you kill your opponent before they get to you, or you lose the game. And I found with like the combat blocks with like hammerers or warriors with great weapons or something along those lines, all you had to do to effectively nullify like a 500 point block would be to just stay out of its arc of visibility. I mean, it just couldn't charge anything. And I really hope that they do something to alter that. Like maybe it costs some movement to pivot, but then you can pivot and then charge. Something along those lines, because I just got so sick of Doomfire Warlock bus that my friend Craig used to play a lot, just moving like an inch out of my arc so I couldn't charge him, and just magicking me and shooting me, because it wasn't very interactive.
Yeah, that is, I guess, played around the rules limitations, isn't it? Rather than, like, why wouldn't that unit be able to react?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm hoping they do something with that, personally.
Which they've kind of done with Heresy, haven't they? They fixed Psychic powers, because Psychic was very, very powerful, wasn't it, in the first edition of Heresy? Magnus tooled up, could take on whatever himself, couldn't he? Alone, with that big Nova J, it was ridiculous.
Oh yeah, and he could boost it, couldn't he?
Yeah, and Psychic powers. Yeah, some people would be disappointed, but it's not nearly as powerful as it used to be. How many times did I play you guys with my Slanesh and 6 dice Cacophonic Choir just kill everything?
Oh yeah, especially because Initiative 1 dwarfs.
Yeah.
Initiative 2 dwarfs.
I remember going to an event, and some guy cast Purple Sun, which I think was an initiative test. 6 diced it so that it was the big template, and cast it down the flank of an ogre army, and he basically just took the ogre army off in the first turn.
Yeah.
Because they're all like initiative 2. It's just like, right, okay.
Yeah, I hope. I don't think we'll see the release of the game this year. I'd like to, with it being the anniversary, but
That would have been perfect.
But just realistically, with the volume of stuff coming out, but then, we've got a lot of stuff coming out a week, so maybe they have got the resources to put out 2 editions in a year. 40k in the summer, then the Old World in the winter. I don't know. Games which tend to do these big releases in the summer, don't they? But the specialist stuff has come out at odd times, hasn't it? We got the new edition of Necromunda with Ash Wastes out of the blue, really, didn't we?
Yeah.
We got the original Necromunda, Blood Bowl. All these were in the Black Friday kind of release slot, which they seem to have moved away from as well. I think it's very hard to predict trends based on previous years because I think Games Workshop are changing things themselves, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, how are we doing, guys? We've got 9 minutes left of the stream, and we'll make sure we finish on time for people who want to watch the battle report live, so to speak. Should we go?
Working on this guy. So, I've done quite a lot on this one actually for just a regular bolter guy. So, obviously, I've done the chest thing. I've put a blood drop on the chest plate instead of the skull, and then what I've done is I've cut up 2 intercessor arms, and I've managed to get the Blood Angel's bolter on. And then I've used a hand off a Sanguinary Guard one to make it look like he's just sort of bringing his gun up or he's just resting his gun down.
Oh, nice.
I'm not too sure about the shoulder pads yet. We'll see, but yeah, I'm quite happy with him. So he's just so I've got today. I've done these are the 2 regular warriors basically. So a chainsword one and a bolter one.
That's cool.
Excellent, Jay. It looks ace.
How are you, Dave? What have you been working on?
So I've been doing the skin and some of the leather on 3 of my Orc Commandos. Not super exciting, but what I have managed to do, and hopefully I'll get a decent shot of him, is pretty much finish my Orc Knob. So he just needs his base texture painting and a couple of highlights. But I'm really happy with how he's turned out. Don't
Cool.
see him very well there.
That's awesome. Andy, you are furiously painting scenery. How's your painting session gone?
Well, everything that is on my painting desk, scenery-wise, which is all the little grates that go on the top of the pillars and stuff for the Gallowdark scenery. I finished all them off. I've got the rest of them sort of sat behind me in a box, and then I even had to dig out some pillars just to try painting some of these up. And yeah, super quick and easy to do. It was literally picked out some of the pipes with Nazdrag yellow, picked out some of these sort of little console screens with Karandras green, and then a fair, some symbols and stuff like that with Balthazar gold, I think it was. And then I've just washed it all, Agrax Earthshade, dry brush Necron compound, and then I'm going back over thankfully I've managed to pick the pillars that seem to have no skulls on them. I've got 1 skull which I've just painted Xandri Dust, and I'm just going to wash it right from Flesh Shade and then highlight with Ushapti Bone, I think, just to make it stand out a bit.
Awesome.
So you didn't find that painting the grates grating then, Andy?
It was not grating, no.
Just give a quick shout out to some folks that are chatting over on Twitch. Lost King says, I missed the podcast GW used to do. It was great listening to the studio employees. Yeah, I hope in Warhammer Fest we get the opportunity to kind of chat to, the studio folks again, because it was always really insightful. And Ralderon says, evening gents in the chat, you have joined us right in the tail end of the stream, but fear not. If you head over to YouTube in 6 minutes, we are having the premiere screening of episode 1 of our crusade. Dave has been toiling away in the background working on that, so make sure you check it out because it'll be loads of fun. I have got, and I don't know if you guys can see that too well, I've got the base colours down on my first RBT.
Oh,
So
nice one.
the black is down, the red's down,
Nice.
the metallics are base coated and washed. What I need to do now is get a sponge, and essentially the armour is going to be highlighted with chipping.
Yeah.
It makes it really easy. I don't need to mess around doing edge highlights on all the panels, and I'll give him a bit of a more worn, lived-in kind of look to him, because this guy's been through the wars, I'm sure. So do the chipping, apply some more washers, and then really highlight him up and he's good to go. And that's taken, 2 hours with some chatting? So it shouldn't take long at all to get the entire kill team done for the event. So that should be some great fun. So what's everyone working on this week? Are you cracking on with these kill teams? Have you got anything else that you're wanting to do, guys?
Well, I definitely did not forget that I'm at a Warcry event on Saturday at Warhammer World.
Are you?
I mean, I've got loads of Age of Sigmar stuff painted up that I can take, but I want to take the Chaos Legionnaires.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Warcry. I've got half of them painted, and the other half are kind of 50% painted. So I'm going to be spending the rest of the week getting them done. So I can take them to Warhammer World on Saturday.
Awesome, sounds good. How about you, Jay? Are
So
you cracking on with these for conversion work?
Yeah, like I said, I've got a few bits coming. I've ordered a few bits off eBay. The models I need to get built this week are the Acolyte, the Shrive Talon, and my leader as well, which I can't decide. You'll have to have a look, Matt. There's an aspiring champion and a different thing. I can't think what it is, and I'm not sure which one to build.
Why not both? Why not both?
Well, you can only have one leader though, can't you? I guess.
Well, yeah,
so...
but in your 20, you can have both of them and pick which leader you have for your kill team.
Fair enough. Okay then.
Dave, how about you?
So actually, I've had quite a busy few weeks on the website with like the Caradrons and Crusade Battle Report and Azrael and stuff. So it's nice to have a week where I've not got a deadline. So I think for me, I definitely want to be carrying on with my orcs, the commandos, but I really, really fancy spraying and doing that Gallowdark scenery.
Oh, nice, cool, awesome. Well, I think I'll be cracking on with the kill team. I need to get some Void War bases. These are just super looter bases and snap them off. I want to have, fully thematic and cool looking spaceship bases. So yeah, so that is us. So I think what we're going to do, probably call it an end to the stream there, so people can get ready to watch the Crusade Battle Report when it goes live at 9 o'clock, which is in 2 minutes time. If you're over on Twitch, head over to youtube.com/Sprues Brews, and we'll be in the chat as that plays live as well. So we'll be able to both laugh at my terrible dice rolls together. But yeah, thank you guys.
All really enjoy it.
Yeah, it should be good fun. And let us know what you think as well. Obviously, stick it in the comments if you have enjoyed it, and make sure to like the video if you have liked it. But yeah, thank you guys for joining. It's been fun having the whole gang together today. Hopefully we'll be able to do the same next Sunday. Which is, next Sunday's Mother's Day. So we'll have to just see what the plan is for that. But if we don't do it the Sunday, we might be able to squeeze it in another evening somewhere maybe. But yeah, thank you all for watching along at home as well. If you have liked it, like the video, pop a comment in there. It all helps the mighty algorithm push it to as many people as possible. But until next time, we'll see you soon and have a great week. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.